Hi, I'm Danny.
Hi, I'm Mel, and we're the Sheehan sisters.
If you haven't seen our face before, we do commentary slash podcast style videos on topics we like to talk about. So get comfortable, get cozy, grab a snack, grab your coffee, grab some water, stay hydrated, and come join us as we chat today about. Do you want to tell them what we're talking about today, Mel?
Well, we're talking about an array of topics as we do, but our main topic of the day is consumerism. Right? Would you say that that's our main topic?
I was going to say we have an idea. This is the idea happening now. It's happening.
We did a little planning. We said we were going to plan last time, and we're planning.
We did that. It's happening. We wanted to do a video that focused on overconsumerism, the job market. What else would you say? Unfair wages.
Right. If we have time, we do want to go back to talking about teachers and literacy rates if we have time in this video, because we did touch upon that in our last video. It's all going to connect. I like to think of our videos as what were those bubble graphs?
Oh, like the bubble map?
Yeah, and you have one idea in the middle and then little branches off to the side of that's a good metaphor for our podcast, I would say.
Love that. Is it a metaphor or is it an analogy? Or is it
a simile? Because our podcast is like a bubble. What is it called? What? A bubble graph?
a bubble map?
Okay.
A bubble map.
Bubble map. Our podcast is like a bubble map.
Think of us like in the Glinda bubble and then a bunch of ideas mapping out from that bubble.
Yeah.
We wanted to start with this video. Let me pull this up. One moment. We're the producers, the writers, the sound team. This first video comes from the creator happy_times503, and they are discussing their overall message was if a business can afford to pay its workers a livable wage, it shouldn't exist. And we wanted to dive into that topic, but first we will show you their video.
Coming back to this same idea because it's the truth. If a business can't afford to pay its workers a livable wage, then it shouldn't be in business at all. Because what that really means is the only way that that company survives is by exploiting people. And if you're doing well while your employees are struggling just to eat, that's not success. That's extraction. People love to say, well, that's just how capitalism works. Like that's supposed to excuse it. But no. That's how unchecked greed works. The whole foundation of a business should be sustainability for everyone involved, not just the people at the top. If you look at McDonald's, for example, they made over $8 billion in profits last year. They could literally pay every worker up to 70 grand a year, and their CEO would still be a multi-millionaire. Same with Amazon. They make hundreds of billions in revenue and could pay every U.S. employee a real livable wage without Jeff Bezos ever needing to worry about money again. So it's not that they can't do it, it's that they won't. And when someone brings that up, the response is always from people making $40,000 a year saying, well, flipping burgers doesn't deserve 70 grand. But think about how messed up that is. Because the problem isn't that fast food workers would make too much then. The problem it would still be that so many other jobs pay too little. Teachers, nurses, delivery drivers, service workers, all of them hold society together, and some of them still can't afford rent or food. That's not some natural economic law. That's a choice that people in power made. We have been conditioned for decades to believe that low-skill jobs don't deserve a livable income. But who decided that? Because the second those workers don't show up, everything stops. You notice real quick how essential they are when your food doesn't get cooked, your packages don't get delivered, or your kids, their kids' school can't find staff. The truth is, if a company can't afford to pay its people enough to survive, it's not a viable business. It's just a parasite. And we as taxpayers end up covering the difference through government aid while executives brag about record profits to our faces. And see, that's the part nobody wants to admit. Our system literally rewards exploitation. And I'm not anti-business, I'm anti-greed. I'm anti the idea that the CEO deserves $200 million while the people keeping the lights on can't even afford groceries or rent. Because a fair wage doesn't just feed families, it strengthens communities, it lowers crime, and boosts the entire economy. So yeah, if your business model depends on people being broke, then maybe your business doesn't deserve to exist. Because profit shouldn't come from suffering, and decency shouldn't be up for debate.
I do want to point out that, first of all, I agree with this creator's take 100%. I do find it interesting whenever people defend capitalism or billionaires, millionaires. I think there's this idea of like, well, the people that are defending them are like, oh, well, I want to be that person one day too, or I could be that person one day as well. So they just have that dream that they could be as filthy rich. That keeps the machine going. And I also agree that there is this perception about certain jobs that they shouldn't be paid more because they're considered like they're looked down upon. I don't know. I feel like we've gotten brainwashed to believe that you don't deserve to be paid this amount or have this amount or have this salary as a fast food worker, for example. And it's this mindset that has been instilled in so many people of like, oh, work hard and work your way up, and that's how you make the money, and that's how you become the successful rich person. But now we're to the point where we know that that system isn't working. It doesn't work. It is unfair. We shouldn't be seeing these CEOs bragging about the millions and millions of dollars they're making off the hard work of these employees that are getting paid minimum wage and can't survive. And there's no compassion, there's no appreciation. I don't know. Do you want to interject?
I do want to interject as someone who has worked in fast food, and I've been in food service for 13 years now, so it's definitely a subject I can talk for days about. And it is very upsetting how much people will demean you for working in fast food. And it's also absurd, like the amount of times I've had jobs where people thought that they could just speak to me any which way because they thought I was less than because of the job that I've had, and even having judgment from people in my life, such as not now, but at the time, like friends or trying to go on a date and say, well, this is where I work. And then people looking down on me for just having a job that I'm just trying to pay my bills or pay for school or pay for whatever it is at the time. And that's something people don't realize either, is a lot of people working there either have multiple jobs, have families, are going to school, already have degrees that they can't find a job in. So it's just crazy to me that people will just look down on them. And I'm like, you're the one eating here. So what is it that's so, I don't know the word, but like, well, I just don't understand what's so, what, like bad. Like what is so, give me a word, Danny.
What's so disgraceful?
Right, like I can't even think of a word for it because I don't see anything wrong with just working a job. But yeah, like people really look at you like you're nothing, and I'm like, you're choosing to eat here and support the business. So I'm just very confused why I'm now my whole life is being assumed because of this job, and now I'm an idiot, and now I don't know anything. And even in this video, he said low skilled jobs. They're not all low skilled, and I hate the idea of like, oh, you just flip a burger like I'm fucking SpongeBob SquarePants. And he was a hard worker too. Where a lot of fast food jobs I've had, you have to work multiple positions and know multiple positions in the job. And there are some places I've worked where at the end of the day I had to go and clean a public restroom, which is disgusting, and people are disgusting. And it's like, I'm over here doing the cash register, packaging the food, cleaning the restaurant. I'm doing multiple jobs within the one job. And it's easy per se, but it's definitely not, I don't think, low skilled. I don't think so. I don't think that that's a fair word to use.
Assessment.
Yeah. We touched on this topic a little bit in our first episode where we talked about tipping culture, and that a lot of those jobs should just pay their workers a fair wage. And I think that this lines up exactly with that topic as well. And again, it falls on a lot of food service workers, and it's just like, you want to go out to eat, you want to have these experiences. So it just really confuses me why people look down on it so much, or like treat people in customer service so rudely.
I agree, and that's why I pointed out that we've been conditioned to believe that these type of jobs should be low paying. And I also agree, like, I don't think these jobs are unskilled. I think we have to value and realize the purpose of these jobs and these positions, because this is how the business is running. All of these people are playing a part to keep this business open. And I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's a fair assessment to say like, oh, all you do, like you mentioned, all you do is flip a burger. So yeah, you should be getting paid only minimum wage. It's also interesting how there's so many people out there that wouldn't even take that type of job. So obviously there is value to those that are taking these positions.
Right. And I love that you said that, because I always think about people who make it in certain industries, especially celebrities or influencers, where it's almost like, oh my God, what do I have to do if I have to get a real job? Like, if things don't work out, or if it all comes crumbling down on them. And I just get so happy that I never have to worry about that, because when it comes to working, I don't have this big pride of like, oh my God, what are people gonna think? Because I've already had those jobs where I worked in a drive-through, like I just mentioned, where I'm cleaning a public restroom. Like, I'm making money at the end of the day. And so I'm not gonna look down on myself or others for doing those jobs. And it just makes me happy to know, like, I will willingly take that job. And I've worked with so many people, like I said, who have had degrees, who have had various degrees, who were working through working through medical school or working through things like that. And you don't think of that because you have your own idea of what that kind of person would be doing with their life. But that's what frustrates me too, is like, these people should make a livable wage because they're over here trying to pay their college tuition, or they're over here trying to take care of their children. And a lot of those jobs also, I've worked with a lot of elderly people who were already retired and still had to work. Like, I would work with people who are like in their 70s, and it would like break my heart, because I'm just like, damn, like, you still have to work because you either need health insurance or because you just still need money to live. It just like aggravates me, really. It just really does aggravate me, because I just worked in those jobs for so long and just have had to deal with so many disrespectful people, and deal with, like I said, even people in my life who like would look down on it and would always constantly ask me about getting a new job, or going back to school for something, and it's like, no, I want to work in a kitchen. This is what I want to do, which may sound I want to do other things, which is why I'm making this podcast. But I don't feel like I'm some like scum of the earth or something, and I don't want people to view me that way either. It's like, this is not that terrible of a job, and it's just, I don't know, it just really, it's a weird idea, and that's what you said, where society has trained us to think that way.
I have a few points to make. Let me make sure I can get this out coherently. I do agree with you. I think in my 20s, I did have that perception of like, oh my God, I'm embarrassed to say I'm just this. Like, I just work at this job and this is my position. But now that I'm older, you do shed a lot of your ego as you get older. Well, one would hope.
Right, you would hope you could have your ego death at some point.
One would hope. So now at this point, it's like, yeah, and in the economy, it's like, yeah, a job is a job, and you need a job, you need to pay your bills, and you need to feed yourself. And I think that if we did pay, if we all had a livable wage, it wouldn't feel as embarrassing, because we associate money to a higher status. Of course, we're in a class system. And just to circle back to the comment you made, where celebrities would be like, oh my God, like I have to go back to the real world, or whatever the comment would be. On the tail end of it is so many of those that, so many fans, I would say, if they saw their fave go down a path where they are working in the real world again, like, that they even look down upon that themselves, even if they're working that same position. You know, it's like, oh wow, look at you now you're just a cashier, you were once a highly successful singer. And it's ridiculous for us to even have that mindset, because they should, I don't know, I don't think it should be embarrassing, or there should, sometimes in life you do have to restart, and that's okay. You know, I also wanted to mention, some people's feedback would be like, oh well, you know, why don't you just move up in the company instead of staying in that position? And absolutely, if you have that drive to do so, go for it. As someone who has moved up in a company and got to a higher position and was so loyal and hardworking, for me to ultimately be laid off, you know, it was discouraging, but it also made me realize the value of these lower positions, because it's not as high stake, and there's so much that goes into, you know, becoming, let me re-say this. There's so much that goes into moving up in a company, and then it's a different atmosphere where now it's not just about, oh, hard work, like, it's not just about working hard as you get into the higher position. There's so much more politics to it, which is why some people are just not cut out for those type of positions, not because they're not capable of it, but because of the other bullshit that comes along with it. Does that make sense?
You know, it makes sense. And to go off of that, I think, because again, I've also moved up in like to management and things like that, and I definitely did not have the dream to move up to corporate. Danny has moved up to corporate because, like you said, where the politics of it all come into place. I agree what you're saying about being in your 20s and then having this whole perception of the job title and working your way up. And I would meet people who were, when I was in my 20s, who were older than me, who were working as a cashier or working the same job position as me, or like I would move up and they would tell me how much they didn't want to move up, but I just couldn't fathom that at the time where I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, yeah, they offered it to me, I didn't want it. Or like, yeah, I could have done that, but I didn't want to. And I was like, you didn't want more money? I couldn't understand that thought process of not wanting more money and not taking the promotion until I took the promotions. And I was extremely stressed out. And you see people who are in higher positions and they're also extremely stressed out, and even some of them aren't even getting paid well enough because they have like 20 other bosses ahead of them, and they have the CEO and the vice president and this guy and that guy who's still making 10 times more than they're making. And you start to realize, like, oh my God, the whole pressure of this one store is now on me, and I'm not really getting anything out of this, and I'm really just trying to make money for you. And you feel that even as just the normal worker clocking in and out for an hourly shift. But like you were saying, the stress is higher. So then I realize now that I'm not back down, but I guess technically in the hierarchy of it all, I am in a low position. But I'm like, I'm good, I'm fine. I don't want the stress. I would like more money, but I don't want the stress because I'm not gaining anything from this but money, and it just doesn't seem worth it in life. It's like, oh my God, I'm stressing myself the fuck out so that these millionaire CEOs can go on 10 vacations and buy another yacht and buy another house and buy another car, and I'm barely just paying my rent and buying groceries.
Exactly. And some people would say, oh, well, you don't deserve more money because you're not taking on more work. But the point being, there shouldn't be such an extreme gap between these lower positions. How do I want to say this?
Well, I have something to say. Sorry.
The wage gap discrepancy is just, it's become to the point where it's extreme. It's outrageous. It's, worse it. Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
It's not justifiable, especially we all have had those bosses who you're like, you don't do shit. You don't do shit, and you keep giving me your work. Whatever, whether you're in retail, food service, in the corporate office, we all have had that boss who keeps giving us more projects and more things to do, and you slowly turn around and you realize, I'm doing your fucking job and you're not doing a damn thing.
It really does feel unfair, and it feels like I'm helping this person live such a luxurious life, and I'm coming home crying. I'm drained. I lost my passion for my own dreams and my own goals. And just to go back to what Mel said about, oh yeah, maybe taking this lower position is better for my mental health. It is better for my passion to do side projects, to have a podcast. There's definitely pros and cons. The point being, do we want to see these filthy rich CEOs continue to exploit their employees? No. That's the whole point. We don't want to see that anymore. We're all getting sick of it. We're all struggling. We're tired. We're living paycheck to paycheck. We can't go on vacations. We can't enjoy our lives because of the unfair climate we're currently in.
Right. And then on top of that, making us feel worthless for it, or making us feel like, well, we're not working hard enough. Where, like I just said, some of these, they're not livable wages. So it's like, how could I even pay for college if I can't even pay my rent? And then I have to have an added expense onto it. And it just seems like more and more all of these things that once felt possible don't feel possible anymore. And again, I know a lot of people who even go and they get the degree and then there's no jobs in their field. So there's just so many other factors to it as well, where they're like, well, work harder, do more, whatever. They keep giving us these stupid cliches, and then you're like, you keep taking everything away from us to make that even possible.
And just to point out, one of the comments this creator made was, if we pay these lower positions more money, then that would mean that should be the trickle effect that we should all be getting paid more then. We should all be advocating for all of us to be getting paid more rather than this greedy CEO who's sucking up all of the resources. They don't care. They don't care about the people running their business. No, they don't. Half the time, these CEOs and these higher positions, they don't see you as a person. You're just a number to them. They don't care. There's no, I know people like to make fun of like we're all family, and we know that's bullshit at this point.
And then they throw us a pizza party and think that we should be so happy.
Thank you so much. Like we really want to show you we appreciate you by getting you a pizza. Like, no, give us some money. Have some compassion where you don't need to take that much for yourself, and you're willing to share it. that is the essence of community. And I know so many people are like die-hard fans of capitalism because they want to be that CEO that is sucking up all the money and all the resources. But then it's not what humanity is really supposed to be about.
Right, they want that dream to be obtainable for themselves, or they're so delusioned to be like, well, this is it, we gotta just follow through, and they're the sheep following through, and it's like, we have to break the system. I have a video that piggybacks off of Danny's video and everything that we're talking about, and I'm just gonna go ahead and play it. It'll speak for itself.
I remember a guy being like, like you're working in a coffee shop somewhere, and like you got to think like that's not a career. You got to do that. And I remember talking to the guy and being like, so do you think no one should work in a coffee shop? And he was like, I wouldn't. And I was like, but I'm asking you, do you think coffee shops shouldn't exist? And he was like, no, I love coffee. And I was like, so you're bad. Yeah. Like, do you see that you are saying it should exist, and if you want it to exist, you should want it to be that anyone who works there, because again, we're agreeing it's good and necessary. Yeah. Coffee shops are actually better than what you do. It's better to pour a cup of coffee than whatever fucking thing you do all day. Right? That's a nice, cool thing to do that's good to do, is to make a good cup of coffee. So someone doing that should live in dignity and comfort and safety, right? We all think that is true. And like the idea that he was like, no, it should exist and it should hurt and be bad to do it.
That's just a short clip that kind of just repeats what we're saying, where there's people out there who look down on these positions and go, well, I would never do that. And it's usually some guy in a suit who works in an office, and his job probably wouldn't even exist without the coffee shop existing. Where it's like, oh, I work in marketing, or I work in finance, or I work in this. And it's like, but when it trickles down to everything, like, what business is that for? And obviously there are super important jobs out there, like teachers, doctors, firefighters, people that are saving lives and doing very important things, and those people should get paid as well. But we're living in, like we said, the overconsumption of it all, where there's just so many businesses taking off, and the obtainability to even get a good, quote unquote, good job is non-existent, because education is not affordable. People are living in more poverty than ever before, where they, again, if I can't pay my rent, how am I going to achieve anything else? And obviously there are plenty of people who got it out the mud, and it's just like, the fact is that we shouldn't have to do that.
Well, it's interesting because we were taught about the quote unquote American dream, where you can come here, or you were born here, and you have this market to open up your own business and be a successful business owner. So a lot of these people, especially these small businesses, have that dream, and they were taught to pursue that. So they are going after that. But it's when these businesses that turn into franchises, and large corporations start to lose sight of the importance of the people making them that amount of money, is where we're at now. I don't know if I said a coherent sentence there, but
Right, and that American dream is also pushed onto immigrants who come to this country, and it's such a slap in the face for them to have an administration that's like, get the fuck out, when most of them are adding to the economy. They're going to school, they're getting their degrees, they're becoming doctors, lawyers, teachers. They're working all of these jobs to keep everything fucking running, and then you're like, get the hell out.
just to segue, since this video mentioned coffee shops,
Oh yes, that was also a reason I brought up this video.
we all know that major coffee shop that is on every block or across the street from one another that doesn't pay their employees a fair wage and exploits their employees. And we all know who that is. Say it with me now. Starbucks. We had to talk about Starbucks because their employees are currently striking because they are trying to unionize, and this goes hand in hand with the CEO making millions of dollars and refuses to pay their employees a fair wage.
This tweet is from, is it called a tweet? I don't even care anymore. Fuck Elon Musk also. This is from Bernie Sanders, and it's saying last year Starbucks made 3.6 plus billion in profit and paid its CEO 96 million while denying workers living wage and decent benefits. Let's stand in solidarity with striking Starbucks workers. Don't cross the picket line. $96 million. I don't give a fuck what you're doing. You do not. What?
And that was a year's salary. That's a yearly salary.
What level of entitlement and delusion do you get to where you go, I deserve this?
They really do believe it though.
And just to say that was in response to, oh my god, what was that? Sorry, I thought there was a bug. Hold on. Okay.
There was a little mosquito flying around, so if y'all saw me like waving in the air, it's because a little tiny mosquito was trying to attack me.
Anyway, that was in response to another post saying, as of today, Starbucks workers across the country are officially on strike, and we're prepared for this to become the biggest and longest ULP strike in Starbucks history. I live in Seattle now. I think I've mentioned before. So I live in the origin of this company. And I've seen, because there are many around, and I've seen workers outside on strike, and I'm very happy not happy for them, but I'm happy, but I'm also not happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm happy that they're standing up, but not happy that they have to stand up. And I used to go to Starbucks a lot, and I no longer go for many reasons. There's many reasons to boycott Starbucks. And yeah, I just want to say, like, we make our own coffee. I already finished mine, but we make our coffee at home, and you should do the same with no Starbucks products, because I have also noticed like a rise in their products in like supermarkets. I don't know if you've noticed this.
I'm like, the rise of the coffee prices?
The rise of their products being in supermarkets, like more creamers and like there's so much more stuff from Starbucks is being put into supermarkets, and I think it's because they know that a lot of their stores have been going down in sales and have been closing. But clearly they're doing just fine because they made almost fucking $4 billion last year. So
I have two videos I want to show based off of this. The first video is a longer video, but I won't show that full video, but we'll link it below if you do want to watch the full video. This video is called The Overdue Collapse of Overpriced Coffee. And I just wanted to play a little bit of it because it talks about the start of Starbucks and what they initially designed it to be and how it became the conglomerate. Is that the right word I'm looking for?
I think that's a good word.
Conglomerate it is now. It is today. Look at us. Word of the day. Word of the day. Let me Google this. Make sure I use the right conglomerate.
And I think that goes for so many things. And we touched upon this about even celebrities, where they start as the hometown girl, and now here you go years later. It's such a double-edged sword, especially like, I want to support this small business, I want to support this small influencer, I want to support this person who's making their way, and you just don't have the foresight to see that they're going to become a greedy billion-dollar person or company, and they're going to just like ruin people's lives.
Maybe, you know, these people don't even realize they're gonna become that either. It's crazy what money does to people. I don't know. It changes you.
It does. I'm drinking pineapple juice now, so if the color in my cup looks weird, it's no longer coffee.
Coffee and pineapple juice. Very interesting.
It's not mixed together.
I know it's not mixed together.
But going from one to the other.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. I'm the type of person that, like, I need my coffee, my water, and then a ginger ale. You know, like, I want 3 options.
Those are my 3 drinks lately, too. But I'm trying to just get a little, some nutrition in me.
Yes. All right. I'm going to play this.
Okay.
This video comes from the channel The Invisible Game. Like I said, I will link it below if you'd like to watch the full video.
Starbucks is in trouble.
Starbucks announcing a $1 billion restructuring plan this morning in an SEC filing, adding that it will lay off some 900 non-retail employees and, as you said, close stores.
For decades, they sold more than just coffee. They sold a lifestyle, an ambience, a sense of global belonging to every city it entered. But today, it provides none of these things.
It's all part of a restructuring plan amid growing competition, inflation, and changing consumer tastes and communities.
Customers are quickly abandoning them for competitors, and same-store transactions are down 10% in the last quarter alone. At first, it seems obvious why this is happening. People are simply trading down to cheaper options. But the strange thing is, the more coffee they sell, the bigger this problem becomes. Compared to 10 years ago, sales have exploded. But behind the record numbers, something's breaking. Customers are leaving, stores are emptier, and the brand that once defined cafe culture now feels like it's lost its soul. So how did the world's greatest coffee chain end up in this mess? And is Starbucks now beyond saving, or do they simply need to wake up and smell the coffee? It should not come as a big surprise that a business charging $7.35 for a peppermint mocha frappuccino is struggling in today's economy. The entire F&B industry is bearing the brunt of the price-conscious consumer. The real reason why Starbucks is in serious long-term trouble is less about prices and more about principles. You see, Starbucks has abandoned the principles that made it so popular in the 90s and 2000s, and these core fundamentals have very little to do with the price of coffee. During this meteoric rise, Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz sought the help of the marketing expert Scott Bedbury. He was involved in Nike's 1988 Just Do It campaign. Instead of selling the best sneakers, Nike sold a lifestyle of personal empowerment, which was more appealing to customers. And this winning formula was replicated onto Starbucks.
It's not about the coffee, it's the experience.
Instead of aspiring to become fitter and stronger, Starbucks sold a lifestyle of sophistication and opened up Americans to the world of European coffee culture. Coffee sizes were not small, medium, and large, but tall, venti, and grand, and you're welcomed by a warm and friendly barista. Starbucks realized that happy employees bred happy customers, and workers enjoyed full health benefits, stock option programs, and free online college courses. Ultimately, Starbucks aimed to become what is referred to as the third place between work and home, and its iconic purple armchairs turned Starbucks into a social setting. With this business model, Starbucks didn't need to spend much money on advertising. Geniusly, their customers did it for them. Going to Starbucks was a status symbol, something people would gloat about and proudly carry around their coffee cup in hand. People saw it as part of their identity, and so the expensive price was worth sacrificing. But this exclusivity soon wore off. Their rapid expansion led to the ridiculous but common situation where there was a Starbucks across the street from another one. They fell into the trap of mass producing an exclusive product. This would be like Rolex manufacturing watches at the same rate as Casio. At a certain point, the quantity erodes the perceived quality of the brand.
I just wanted to show a little bit of this video because it demonstrates the current crisis Starbucks is undergoing. Because as we saw, the start of the business's purpose changed drastically over the years and fell victim to greed. And now we're at the point where their employees are standing up for themselves and they're striking. And I think we've touched on this briefly in one of our other podcasts, but boycotting is an effective way to push these CEOs. How do I want to say this? It's an effective way to force these CEOs to make a change for the better. The only way they're really going to care is if their pockets are affected. So I'm proud of these Starbucks employees. I'm sure it's difficult to strike. I can see how so many people are scared to strike because they start to worry about their job security and their finances. And a lot of us end up staying in the system because we don't have the option. We don't have any other option.
Right. It's like, okay, get another job. And it's like that job is probably going to be very similar where you might not be getting the best pay and the CEO is still making millions of dollars because, again, they think they deserve to. And you're just going to be stuck in the same cycle all over again. And then it's also not going to teach these businesses anything. And I don't blame Starbucks workers, especially around this time, the fucking holiday season. The holiday season is a stressful time, especially for retail workers. And again, these are jobs that we're looking down upon, but yet we're expected to make all this money for the companies. And it's like all these stores are getting overfilled because people are going and buying all the merchandise and gift cards and just fucking everything they can possibly get. And then there's Black Friday and all these other sales happening, which is another good thing to boycott, to show them that we're not going to support this bullshit anymore. And we just don't really need things. We don't need a lot of things. I'm so sorry if this is going to sound, I don't know, I'm going to be a hypocrite because I have things, but like I'm not a collector too much. Like I think the most thing I collect is books, but I think they're useful and important. I don't know, it's such a double-edged sword where I'm like, oh, you can't have your things, but it's just like, you don't need all these trinkets and treats, like you don't, and I'm so sorry. Like I know it's like for some of us it's all we have to like give us a reason to keep going, but it's just getting to a point where there's just too much stuff out there. Am I making sense? Like there's just too much. There's just too much. And this is we're bringing up Starbucks. Also, there's another big story that's been in the news that we wanted to talk about. Danny, are you ready to move on?
Yes, let's talk about the recent craze surrounding the Barista Cup. We haven't learned anything, have we? We really haven't. Like, y'all are still going out there running for these tactics. You know, these corporations they're sitting in a room and their marketing team is creating this quote unquote exclusive product and presenting it in a way that makes you feel like you have to have this. And so many people are still falling victim to it. Y'all did this with the Stanley Cups. You haven't learned?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, as much as like there were times where I would go to Starbucks or support certain companies at a certain time in my life, I've never been the kind of person that was like a crazed extremist of like, I need to get my hands on this thing. Because I don't understand it. So if you're someone who you want to wait in line for the newest shoe or the newest phone or whatever it is, like, I would love to understand the reasoning why. And again, it's not like to shit on people. I know, like, in another episode I was talking about the Labubu, because I just think that it's okay to like stuff, but I think a lot of you don't realize that you're getting bamboozled. You're getting played. They're playing in your face and you don't even realize it. You're over here overpay. You're all overpaying. Whatever the new craze is, you're overpaying for it. Because again, they're not paying any of their workers a livable wage, especially if they're getting the stuff manufactured in another country. Then now it's from slave labor or child labor. So it's just frustrating. And again, I know I might be being a bit of a hypocrite, because I'm sure there's things that I own, like my phone, my laptop, things that I own that have also been a product of that. But I'm trying to be more conscious now. And like Danny's saying, like, we've learned nothing. It's like, you don't need a cup shaped like a bear. You don't need that. And you definitely don't need to be waking up at 3 a.m. and waiting outside and pushing people and cursing people out for it. Like, that's insane. It's insane.
It's insane. Why are you camping outside a Starbucks hours before the store opens for a bear cup? Because you know they're going to restock months later. It'll be in the stores again later on. It's not this exclusive deal. They're probably going to sell it again later on. Like, once the hype dies down, it'll probably be like accessible to anybody.
And you could probably find a glass making class for a cheap price and make it yourself, or a pottery class. Like, you could probably find an art class where you can make that yourself. And
that's what I love, though. We've been seeing more videos of people DIYing the barista cup, and I think that is just a point to show how silly you look if you're dying over this cup. Like, no, go get clear out a fucking honey jar, the bear honey jar. Put your coffee in it. But this is the thing, though, because I've seen a video on this, like, oh, why do people get so obsessed with these stuff? And I really think it goes back to, like, wanting to feel special, wanting to feel like, look what I have and you don't have. And this goes back to, like, the problem with TikTok, where everybody wants to show off their lifestyle and all their things and make you feel bad about your life because you don't have the same things they have.
right, and then they're like, okay, I need to make a video so that I can make money off of getting this thing. And then people are reselling is a whole nother topic that we could get into and maybe do a whole topic on, of just reselling products and tickets and anything just to make even more money off of this. It's like, oh, this is a once in a lifetime exclusive thing, and now I'm gonna sell it for $500 when it was probably made for 3 cents.
Right.
And the person that made it probably didn't even get paid half of what you're even paying for it.
I don't know. I feel like whenever you see a product explode and there's this crazy hype around it, just wait a couple months and you'll be able to get that product without having to, like, camp outside at 4 a.m. to get it.
I've seen videos. I should have saved. I didn't come fully prepared because I wasn't sure, but I've seen videos. There's this guy who goes dumpster diving at companies, and technically he's not supposed to, but he went outside of, like, I don't remember what the store was, so I don't want to name it, but it was, I want to give an example so you understand what kind of store it was, like a TJ Maxx or something. And he went in the dumpster, and it was all the Halloween, like, blankets, like soft blanket, plush blankets you could buy. It was like a bunch of Halloween ones in the dumpster, and he took them all out to give to homeless people. And it's like, why are we throwing this out? Why can't we just wait till next year to resell these again? Why can't the company donate them? Why can't you just put it on discount? It's like, oh, Halloween's over. It's like, who cares? Like, that's another thing, the seasonality of it all, where it's like, this can only exist at this time and then it's useless after that. Like, I'll buy a ghost blanket any time of I don't need it, so I'm not gonna say I would, but there's no reason not to. It's like, oh, it's pumpkins and ghosts, so I can't sell this in December. And like, to throw it in the trash is crazy. Maybe in the next video I'll have to find that creator, and I know there's probably other creators who do the same, where they'll go to like Ulta, Sephora, like other companies, and there's like all these like makeup brushes and makeup bags and things that can still be used, things that don't have an expiration date, being thrown in the trash.
Yeah, I've seen a couple dumpster diving videos. It's actually not illegal to do that.
Well, the illegal part would be trespassing. That's yeah.
Right.
That's where they would get them on that, basically. I dumpster dive all the time. You come into my apartment and let me show you what I found in the trash, okay?
No, Mel has found some cute stuff. Like, she'll send me a photo of like, look at this table I just found outside. I'm like, what? That's so cute. There's just like bags of trash in New York City, so I don't see those cute stuff like that.
People will put stuff out here purposely saying no, people will take it. Sometimes there'll be a sign like take me or free. But it's again because of the overconsumption, where someone's like, I don't want this table anymore because I got a new one. So they throw it out, and I'm like, well, thank you. I will take that.
Right, and it's crazy how, some people are still opposed to secondhand products.
I got this sweater at the thrift store for like $7.
That's another video I want to make, because Mel and I have been talking about this off camera, about certain thrift stores exploiting.
Again, the reselling of it all, where it's like, I'm gonna now sell this.
Or overpricing the apparel or the products in the thrift store, selling it at the same retail price when it's secondhand.
Yeah, there's like a fashion forward section because it's like somebody donated a high-end brand, and I'm like, this person gave this to you for free. Like, I know some thrift shops you could sell your stuff, but even then they lowball you. I remember I was trying to give away clothes. They didn't want half my clothes because they said it wasn't in season, and I'm like, okay, well, you can put it out for sale when it is in season, which again, the seasonality shit. But they took a purse and they gave me like, I think $7 or $10. They gave me $10 for the purse that I think I probably didn't pay that much for it. I probably paid like 30 or 40 for it because I really don't try to spend that much money on it. But I'm like, they're probably gonna resell this now. I should probably go back to that thrift shop and see if it's there.
And it's wild because I've seen certain thrift stores, Goodwill, taking hot name brand items so that they can sell it on their website for an insane amount of money.
Right. I was say we should start ripping our tags off before donating, but I think when I did look into donating stuff, because I've donated stuff and I've sold stuff, but even for donating, they want the tags on.
I don't know. It's so gross how all of these companies that you think are ethical end up succumbing to greed. It's unfortunate, but this is the climate we're in. So this video is from the creator, oh my god, I'm gonna butcher this. Shell Beasley? No, I said that right. Okay, they said Starbucks cup is embarrassing. Let's see what they have to say.
Would you line up at 4 a.m. to buy a cup from Starbucks? Every time I think we've reached peak consumerism, here comes another emotional support object we need to buy. The Starbucks Bear Cup shows us how good corporations have gotten at making us their marketing team. Something goes viral and it's cute, so everyone's talking about it. So we share it, unbox it, and post it. And suddenly their entire ad campaign is done for free. Because consumerism has trained us to confuse buying with belonging. If everyone's got it, we feel left out until we do. But that feeling doesn't last because trends keep moving and keep us spending. The brand makes millions and we're left holding the bag, or bear. And corporations don't even have to try to keep us consuming if our algorithms are doing it for them. The less we feed into their marketing machine, the more money we have to invest into our actual communities instead of somebody else's profit.
They hit the nail right on the head.
I think that's a great point, that we have become their marketing team, and we need to stop doing that. Also, if your job tries to get you to be their marketing team, you do not get paid for that. You are not a social media manager. I'm gonna call out the job I work for now, but I've had other jobs because I work in restaurants where they're like, if you get a good picture of the food, send it in. And they'll do that to customers too, like send in the pictures. It's like, first of all, no, no. And a lot of companies will do that. Well, they'll just take all the stuff that other people have posted and post it on their social media. It's like, no, hire people. You're getting all this shit for free. Stop doing the marketing for free. But yet you won't even shout out your friend's like YouTube channel. I don't know. Like, what's going on?
That part. It's wild. Like, they don't want to do the work for marketing. They don't want to do the marketing work themselves. But TikTok has shown them they don't have to.
Right. That's what the influencers have. They've taken over that for them, and they don't even realize it. And they're like, well, I might get something for free, or I might get a brand deal. And that's another topic where they're getting a lot of money for these brand deals that could pay your everything. That could pay your living for the year, or pay your debt, pay your medical bills. And they're getting a brand deal to support a company that's already making billions of dollars, and then they're telling you to go and buy it. That always irritates me. I can always tell, and there's even people I watch that I love, and I'm like, I want to support you and I like your channel, and then they get an ad and I'm like, okay, not an ad, they get the brand deal, and I'm like, okay, I want you to make the money, but I just know you're not using this. Like, you know what I keep seeing ads for?
Tell me.
Maybe I shouldn't call out anybody, but we can always cut this. For Rocket Money.
Yeah. You think that's a scam?
I don't think it's a scam. I kind of think it's dumb. I'm sure there's people who need it, because some people are not good with their finances. They need to keep track of their finances.
How much they charge for that, for Rocket Money?
I just have a high doubt. Shouldn't it be free?
That's what I'm saying. How are they making their money then? Look.
There's probably a bunch of ads on the fucking app. I'm just doubting that these influencers are using it. They're like, Rocket Money helped me save so much money this month. And I'm like, some of you are at the level where you might possibly, you don't have to, but I feel like you would have some kind of financial advisor or manager to be doing that for you. I don't know. Anyway, we might cut this.
No, I agree with you. No, I think it's important to say, because like you mentioned it, you do want to support creators who you feel like are authentic and genuine and aren't just exploiting their viewers. So it's tough, because you're like, yeah, get that sponsorship, but also I do get skeptical when I start seeing a bunch of YouTubers with the same ad for this month. Like the most recent one I've been seeing is the ZocDoc sponsorship, which I've used ZocDoc.
Yeah, that and BetterHelp. And let me tell you, I've used BetterHelp, and I don't know, like, are you using that, or do you have an actual licensed therapist? There are licensed therapists on there. I think some of them.
No, I think it's been proven that BetterHelp is a scam, is not an authentic platform for mental health.
I'm like, you're not using this. Please. That's what I get upset about. Or I'm like, you're not using this. So we're going to say it now, because we're not trying to become influencers, but we do want this podcast to become successful. Listen, give us some coffee sponsors, give us some food sponsors, because we like to drink coffee. No Starbucks. We like to drink coffee. We like to eat. And give me a good deal to give to people. I hate when people are like 20% off with my code, and then I go onto the website and they're already offering 20% without a fucking code, because that's just what they offer new people. Like, I'm gonna work it out in our contracts. I'm gonna be sitting down and be like, let me give something good to my viewers. Like, let me give them 50% off their first order at least, because you're already offering 20% to everybody and their mother. Like Uber Eats or something like that. It's like you automatically get 20% off your first order.
Yeah. You most likely you're gonna get an email that's like, here's 15% off your first.
And almost anyone can get a promo code. There are some websites where like literally you can go on and get your own promo code. Like, it's not that. I'm sorry, it's like I'm always shitting on something.
No, call them out.
Like,
Cut to us like in the future when we're like, thank you to today's sponsor. I don't know, I always think about how we're gonna do our ads, because like
right, and I understand they sometimes give them a spiel, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. But some of them are, I'm just like, you're not using this.
right, like change up the script when you see like multiple YouTubers saying the same thing for the product, for the sponsorship. It's so funny. It's like, can they just, I get they need to say certain keywords, but like switch up the script. I do want to point out, I feel like a lot of people are not aware just how much money some of these influencers and content creators are making, especially when they seem like the relatable content creator. I don't know. I feel like if there was more transparency on how much exactly they were making off of their videos and their sponsorships.
And I've even seen a video of other influencers talking about each other, where they're like, wow, like I didn't get that much money from that person, or like I didn't get that, or this person only just sent me. Like, there are some influencers who try to be transparent, not all of them are, but some of them are like, I just got like some free shirts and this person got $20,000. Like, obviously, again, it goes for like your contract and your team and like how well you can really like negotiate. But
Let me tell you, I'm gonna let Mel handle those contracts.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna get us a good deal, and I'm gonna get you guys a good deal. Mark my words, right here, right now, okay? Because I cannot, like, let me get 5 people free meals at your establishment. Like, at least, not everyone, but like maybe we do a raffle. Maybe we get 25 to 20 people can get something. You know what I'm saying? Like give me something. Stop with the 20% off. I don't fucking want it. You get that? It's like when Bed Bath and Beyond would send everyone a coupon for 20% off, and then I'm gonna come on here and say I can get you 20%. No, no. If you have friends and you know enough people who work in certain, like I was talking about working in restaurants, like if you network with enough people and friends, like I've gotten better deals and discounts from people I know who are like, yeah, I work at this spot, I get 50% off, like I'll buy you this, or like I bring home food for people. Like, I've gotten better discounts from like friends and family than like these influencers are giving you. So just chat with your community, which is another important thing to do. Chat with your community and your friends, and like do little swaps and trades and everything. But yeah, like I just get frustrated when, again, these influencers get all this free shit and they're like, here's a fucking promo code.
Especially when you know some of these companies can afford to offer a better deal.
Right. I was gonna go back to you saying ZocDoc. I think something like that's fine, because that's just like them promoting a website. I don't think you have to pay for that.
No, I know. I just get skeptical because I'm like, wait, why is there now a wave of ZocDoc sponsorships?
Yeah, right. Like there's always a wave. That's what I'm saying with the Rocket Money. Like that's the one I've been seeing. Like there's usually a wave of like everyone's getting this sponsor. But I think that, again, like if you're just promoting the company itself, okay, fine. But if you're if you're just kind of giving like, it's just basically a commercial, then I'm like, okay, whatever. But when you're like trying to act like you're getting someone a deal, or you're promoting something you don't use, then I get really frustrated.
I get it. Like, especially with the games that they promote, it's like, do you really play this?
No,
like
and then the celebrities are getting in on it too. And I'm getting like, I'm like, you're not playing this. I don't believe it. I don't believe you're over here playing Clash of whatever it is that I get. Yeah. I play games on my phone, so that's another thing. Like if it's a game I'm actually like playing and like would play, I'd be like, okay, yeah, promote this. DTI, hit us up, let me know. Like,
Oh my God, yes. Wait, I have a small tangent, but this also kind of goes into the video. I did have a job interview today, and I was texting Mel because I showed up, and the super sweet security guard was like, "I'm so sorry. They're no longer." How did he say it? I don't even know if they did I don't even know if they did the interview process today, but me and this other woman were looking for the entrance together, and I had asked her if she was here for the job interview also, and she was like, yeah, so we found the entrance together. And mind you, there was 2 people behind me that were also coming in for the interview, and the security guard had to let us know that there won't be any interview, like they had to cancel. And he was like, just write down your name and your contact information. And I did put my name down, and on the paper there was like a list of people ahead of me. So I don't know what the situation was, but I was frustrated because they just wasted people's time and money to travel there. So I'm bringing this up because they sent an email to apologize. So I do respect that. We need to hold these companies accountable because they expect a level of professionalism from you, but then pull shit like that. And I do appreciate that they sent a follow-up email to apologize.
I'm glad they apologized. But again, making the security guard, like, that's not his job. Like, his job's not to, like, tell. And then people are traveling all the way there. And, like, you don't know how far some people are traveling. If they had to, like, schedule, like, to leave if they already have a job, they had to leave early. If they had to get a babysitter, like, you don't understand the lengths people have to go through sometimes to, like, get to a job interview. And for you to not even send a email earlier in the day to cancel it, and you find out when you arrived there, and then it also seems like they scheduled everyone in the same day.
They did. Look, they said right here, though no excuse, there was a miscommunication on our end, and we end up inviting many more candidates than we had the capacity to interview in person.
Have you seen? I didn't watch this show, but I saw this clip. I think it's Parks and Rec, because it was Audrey Plaza. Is that her name? Audrey Plaza. Yeah. Is her character, and she goes to the boss and she's like, so whenever people call, you tell me to tell them like that you're busy. So then she like would schedule meetings. They'd want to schedule a meeting, so she scheduled all his meetings. I'll find the clip and put it in, but she scheduled all his meetings on the same day. She would just tell everyone the same day, and then that day came and she's like, all right, you have like 100. I feel like this is like fucking comedy skit level of like, someone accidentally scheduled all the interviews.
And I think it's also a nod to how many people are looking for jobs, and it's actually a great thing that they have so many candidates to choose from, because we're in a job market where a lot of people are A, getting laid off, and B, can't find a replacement job. I do have one more video I wanted to show that does pertain to our consumerism topic before we fully pivot more into livable wages, which I know we touched upon that as well, and we are trying to intermingle these topics, but we do have a specific dedication we want to do to teachers. But before we dive into that, I do have a video that talks a little bit about Black Friday, and one important message we did want to make sure we stated today was to boycott Black Friday. The more we boycott events like these, the more we're showing these corporations and these greedy CEOs that they need to make changes for their workers and to provide livable wages. So we really have to think about where we're shopping and who we're giving our money to. So I have a creator who I've been following for a while, and I think they do a great job on one of their like series is de-influencing you not to shop. So if you're looking for someone who can help motivate you to, be more sustainable and to not fall into any compulsive shopping, I think this is a great person to follow. So their channel is Alyssa Barber on YouTube, and they did a short talking about Black Friday, so I did want to share that with you all today.
Why does Black Friday seem to start earlier and earlier every year? It's not just your imagination. It's part of a calculated strategy to extend the consumer buying window and maximize profits. Hi, my name's Alyssa, and on this episode of Behind the Buy, we're uncovering the hidden story behind Black Friday. It's a day that used to symbolize doorbusters, long lines, and an adrenaline-fueled chase for once-a-year deals. But now, Black Friday starts before the leaves even fall. This is not an accident. Retailers have realized that they can expand the buying season to capture a larger share of your spending. And what has started as dipping into Thanksgiving Day has now stretched across all of November, giving many shoppers anticipation fatigue, making them ready for the season to be over once it actually arrives. But here's the twist. Starting earlier does not mean you're getting better deals. According to Wallet Hub's 2024 Black Friday report, 41% of items at major retailers show no real cost savings compared to their pre-Black Friday prices. And the items that are marked down, they average only 24% off. The nostalgic tradition of hunting for deals with family has been replaced by a manufactured season designed to keep us spending. So the next time you see those Black Friday signs weeks in advance, pause and ask yourself, am I buying this because I genuinely need it? Or because these companies have made me feel like the clock is running out? Reclaiming joy around the holiday season might just mean taking a step back from the buy.
I think this is something that has been revealed over the past few years about Black Friday, how it's not even actually a sale anymore, that they market up a lot of the prices and then try to tell you now they're discounting it. And this is something we've kind of been talking about throughout the video, of just putting a higher price tag on almost anything. So now these days it's like, oh, now it's a discount, when in reality, like, it's probably still not even close to the price you should be paying for that product. And we don't need more things.
I as someone who's worked retail, I won't say what store I worked at, but I did work one Black Friday in my life, and I said I'll never doing this again. But they actually had that sale the whole week before Black Friday, and it wasn't even on the popular items. But what's wild is that we had an abundance of people come in buying stuff that you can get any regular day at that price. I just found it weird. I was like, you can come in at any point and buy these.
Right, I was gonna say, would that be considered like a placebo effect, or no? Of like,
It seems like it, right?
yeah, it's weird. It's all of this is weird.
They weren't buying any items that were on sale. I was like, wait, you can come in when it's not packed and buy this next week. It was so weird. It's a marketing tactic. It's to try to convince you, like, this is the day to buy, but there's no real bargains.
Exactly. And we grew up in the era of like the early 2000s, where like Black Friday, people were camping out for that too. So like when we mentioned about the Starbucks cup, like, this is stuff that's been happening for years. We're not trying to act like this is a brand new thing that's been happening. Like, capitalism has been around, and it's just really, I keep saying crazy because I don't know what else to say. We're like, even back in the day, people would line up at like 2 a.m. and then be fighting each other and stomping over each other to get a TV or to get this, to get that. And it's just,
People have gotten killed on Black Friday because they got trampled over.
yeah.
disgusting. I don't know what happens to people's brain when it comes to shopping. If you are a bargain hunter, then you know how to do that on a regular basis, not just waiting for a specific day in the year like Black Friday to go find a sale.
Right, exactly. And then even then, half the time it's not even a sale. And then people want to be like, oh, buy things secondhand. And there are some people who you buy stuff, they're also overcharging you. So it's like really sometimes hard to find a real sale or to like, unless you're like me, where you literally find things in the trash or you just buy. There are some times where there is a sale where you're like, okay, that's a good price, but it's kind of rare. And then again, like people will resell stuff. It's like that person's still trying to make some money off of it. So it's not, you don't always get a better price because you got it secondhand.
Well, you know what I was just thinking? I feel like years ago that you could actually find like you because our dad would always find coupons and like cut out coupons. So I feel like there was a point where you can find coupons and can find bargains, but then again, because of greed, these companies were like, no, we're just gonna trick you that you're getting a sale, but actually this is the price. This is the price it's always been, but we're gonna mark it up this week, and then in 3 weeks we're gonna put that price back down to the original price we had it at.
Right. And I think I have a perfect way to segue to our next topics. This is why math is important, and you need to learn what 20% off is, because sometimes you do the math and you're like, okay, 20% off of this, if it's a large price, it's like I'm only getting $5 off. And then you're like, well, what's the point? You know? Like, that's things you got to keep in mind too. It's like you're fighting someone for $10 off an item.
Before we segue, I feel like one thing I factor into when it comes to like pricing, right? It's like A, is this worth it? And like B, you know, for example, if there's sorry, I'm tripping over my words. There's a supermarket that's closer to me where sometimes I will weigh that me going here quicker and not wasting more time to go to the further supermarket will help balance out paying a little bit more. But that's really if I'm really tired. I don't know.
I get what you're saying.
Like, time is money, right? So I also like try to weigh my pros and cons. But
well, yeah, travel matters. If you have to pay to travel, if you're paying for gas, all of that is to take into accountability. Like here in Seattle, like everything is more expensive than if you just drive a little bit out to once you get out of the city, which Danny knows because like in Manhattan, it's the same way. It's like once you go into like a neighborhood that's not considered like
low income.
Like, right. If it's I hate saying that though, but that's what it would be. And then different places have different kind of taxes, so that's like another thing to take into consideration.
And the reason I bring this up because, so like say for example, you do want to get a new TV. Is it really worth it going on Black Friday when we know the sales aren't genuine? Like, why not avoid the crowd and all of that, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like chaos. All of that chaos. Yeah, isn't it worth more to avoid that chaos and just get the TV after Black Friday or at a later date? And again, I know people are trying to rationalize like, no, this is the best deal. I'm just saying consider all the factors.
Right, and that's what we're just saying. Like, I think it's being revealed more and more that you're not getting a good deal. So we got to just get that message out there to people.
Yes, and overall, really consider: do you need that latest TV, or is the TV you have perfectly fine? I think that's the point, and that's basically what. When it comes to videos talking about over-consumerism and overconsumption, it's about really considering, do I need this item? And thinking critically and like making smarter decisions when it comes to your finances. And to care about the earth. Like, we don't, all of this shit ends up in the landfill. So the reason why there are more videos that are targeting overconsumption is because it's affecting the planet we live on. I'm pretty sure there'll be more podcasts dedicated to this topic because there's so much to cover and to react to. So if you are enjoying us discussing this and reacting to these type of videos, please let us know in the comments. We are going to pivot to our next topic, but overall it does connect to our discussion on livable wages. And we did want to speak about teachers who aren't getting paid enough, as well as connect it to our last podcast. Towards the end, we were talking about attention spans and literacy issues, and this all connects because teachers aren't getting paid enough to not just to like tackle all of these issues, but because they are such an important and significant role in our society, they should be getting paid a higher salary, because there's so much that teaching and being a teacher affects as a society. They're raising the future of our society, so they are significant to the upcoming generations.
Right. And a lot of these topics we're going to talk about again and again and again and again, because it's just not possible to get everything we want to say in one video. We do want to try to talk about various topics in our podcast. And again, it all connects. The world is all connected. You guys will see that. Yeah, we need to pay our teachers more money because, like Danny's saying, they're literally crucial to a child's development. And
I believe you. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm getting it.
Okay, let me be patient.
This video kind of consumes everything we've been talking about in like the last 3 podcasts and in this video.
You guys don't know what's going on in education right now. That's fine. Like, how could you know unless you were working in it? But I think you need to know. So here's exactly what it's like right now working in public education. First of all, the kids have no ability to be bored whatsoever. They live on their phones and they're just fed a constant stream of dopamine from the minute their eyes wake up in the morning until they go to sleep at night. Because they're in a constant state of dopamine withdrawal at school, they behave like addicts. They're super emotional, like the smallest thing sets them off. And when you are standing in front of them trying to teach, they're vacant. They have no ability to tune in if your communication isn't packaged in short little clips, or if it doesn't have like bright flashing lights. That's actually the way harder part for me than just the outright behaviors, is just being up at the front, talking to a group of kids who have their eyes open, they're looking at me, but they're not there. They're not there. And they have a level of apathy that I've never seen before in my whole career. Punishments don't work because they don't care about them. They don't care about grades. They don't care about college. It's like you are interacting with them briefly in between hits of the internet, which is their real life. I've seen some TikToks recently where teachers are getting a lot of hate, like for not adapting to the kids or punishing them or whatever. And I just gotta say, like, I can tell you with absolute certainty, it is not the teacher's fault. It might be the parents' fault. It might be our capitalistic society's fault, but it is not the teacher's fault.
She's right.
She's right. And we've been talking about critical thinking a lot lately, and that video is perfect proof, because a lot of people in the comments were like, well, why are they on their phones in school? This is why phones need to be banned in school. They completely missed the whole point of what she was saying. At no point did she say they were on their phones at school. Her whole main point of the video is that they're going through dopamine withdrawals while they're in school because they're not on their phone or iPad or tablet. They have to sit and just listen to the teacher, and they don't have the capability to do that. And And again, about consumerism, it's all together. You guys see it? Do you see it? I feel like I have to have a fucking tinfoil hat on right now.
Put the bubble map up.
Consumerism, livable wage, attention span, critical thinking.
Education. I feel like they're not understanding the severity of phone addictions, which is why this creator is pointing out that the children are pretty much going through withdrawals during school because all they want to do is be back on their phone to stimulate that part of the brain. But this is what, and you know what, put your tinfoil hats on now, because this is what they wanted, okay? The powers that be, they wanted us addicted to our phones. They want us to spend more. They want us to be dumber. They don't want us to think critically. They don't want us to think about what we're buying before we're buying it and weighing if this is important or not. And now we have the upcoming generation who, from such a young age, is handed a phone and is handed an iPad, and it's going to be a lot more difficult for them to disconnect from technology. And it's, I don't know, it's not, I guess it's not really about disconnecting from technology, but understanding that there's a time and place to be on your phone and the importance of being off your phone and being able to have a longer attention span and being able to consume important information while they're in the classroom. It's unfortunate because the parents themselves have their own phone addiction. So they want to sit there and doom scroll also. So they just give their child the iPad so that they can sit there and zone out and doom scroll and brain rot, because nobody really wants to be present anymore. And I think that also goes into people's unhappiness. I think a lot of people struggle more with unhappiness and mental health issues and depression because of where the world kind of shifted to. Right. So we do all want to disconnect and be like, well, I don't really want to be here, so I'm just gonna go put on a video and just pretend like I'm not in the real world right now.
Another point she made in the video of like kids just not caring these days, and I think that's just the overall mentality, even going back to like the workplace and people working customer service, like just no one cares anymore. And it's just kind of, I understand it, but then I'm also like, okay, but we can't give up. Like we're letting the evil powers win. We're letting them win because we're just giving up and we're not caring, and we can't give kindness to one another anymore. We can't give empathy, and we're just like, oh, whatever. They're maybe seeing when they get home and their parents are tired from work and they're tired because everything's expensive and there's no affordable health insurance and there's no affordable living, and like I'm sure their parents are just as stressed out and just want to like decompress, like you're saying, and then it just is just this cycle and pattern of misery going around.
I think you hit on a lot of points, and you know, we try to fit as much as we can into today's episode, but there's still so much more to explore. We do want to wrap this up. I know Mel has one more video to include today, but I think it's so important to keep talking about this because it not only brings awareness, but it's also a constant reminder. You know, sometimes you'll consume information, and then when you don't see that information anymore and it's not in front of you, then it's like, oh, that's just in the back of my mind. I'm gonna go back to my normal routine and my regular habits.
Right. And I think the escapism of today is really what's the major issue, and people just go, well, I'm just going to live my life and I'm just going to keep doing what I want to do and do the things that make me happy, and I'm not going to take into consideration how this affects anything else or how it affects the environment or people in other countries or where this product came from. Like, it's just a ripple effect, and we're not realizing that we are part of that ripple effect. Instead, we're like, well, I'm just going to continue with my life, and I just need to be happy, and the ego comes into it all as well.
Exactly.
And this last video I'm going to share is going to also tie everything with a neat little bow.
It is the holiday season after all.
Here's our present to you.
Actually woke, or do I have literacy, comprehension, and critical thinking skills above the US average? Because it actually isn't a radical thought to believe that people do not deserve to be persecuted. It's not a radical thought to believe that people deserve food, water, clothing, shelter, education, and healthcare without having to break the bank or suffer for those basic things that our tax dollars don't seem to cover. That's not a radical thought. What's radical indoctrination is believing that you need to run in the rat race for crumbs so that billionaires who are trying to become trillionaires can own everything while you starve. Radical indoctrination is believing that black and brown people don't deserve shit and that the world should suffer just so black and brown people don't get shit.
Let's go. I think I would come home and cry about so many things, and I would feel like I would feel hopeless. Like, wait, why doesn't anybody else, not anybody, but like, why don't more people feel this way? Why don't more people care? Why don't we all care more about one another?
We're coming out of our psychosis, which is what I called it last time. We're coming out of this trance, this hypnosis of consumerism and technology, and we're waking up and we're like, this is ridiculous.
And the powers that be, the people that want us to stay asleep and want the control and the power, are convincing some of y'all that we're radicalists. They want to live and have healthcare. They're fucking crazy.
You want to feed people and give them free education? Crazy. You don't need anything. All you need is food, water. We need food, water, healthcare. Give us that. I don't want another fucking. I don't need a Labubu. I keep shitting on the Labubus. I don't need a bear cup. I don't need any expensive jewelry. I don't need any brand names. I don't need diamonds. I don't need any of that. I would like some free healthcare, please.
I was gonna make a joke, but I'm not going to.
You can make a joke. We can still make jokes. So they can't steal our joy.
I was gonna say, but if you want to send us some gifts.
But if you want to, we'll link our Cash App down below. Send us money. Chat, run it up.
Chat, if you want to help pay for my doctor's visit.
Anyway.
Love you all. We love you all. And listen, if you've gotten up to this point, should we start doing that? Where it's like, if you've gotten up to this point, what should we have them comment in the comment section? Labubus.
I don't know. See, I can't even think of shit like that.
Just comment, say hi, tell us how you feel.
My phone's gonna die. So let us know your thoughts. That's what we want you to comment. Your thoughts and your opinions.
If you did make it up to this point, thank you. Your attention span is amazing.
There, you can comment that. Comment, I have a high attention span if you made it up to this point.
Love that for us. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Okay, wait. I have to make sure my hand doesn't go off Cameron.
I was gonna say that last, and I couldn't fix it, but yeah, we gotta stop talking with our hands, because sometimes I feel like Trump, and I'm like, no, it's the New Yorker. He's also a New Yorker.
I think it's normal to talk with your hands. I mean, not everyone does, but
Nah, I moved out of the state. I'm telling you, it's not.
it's not. I thought we're just expressive.